in a real race car? Well, it's time. It is, and with the lineup and race action, here's Darren.
Thanks very much, Pat Mooney. Big FM Modifieds hit the track for their first heat of this 2016 Big Al Delane Memorial Race. Starting on the pole, the Wall Brothers Racing number 74 out of Greenbush, Minnesota. This is Dustin Wall. Outside of row number 1, all the way from Fort Francis, Ontario, the 16 is Gavin Paul. Row 2 inside. This is the 1R of Rick Delane. Outside in the 9, sponsored by Johnny McRae Trucking and Archangel Fireworks out of Marquette, Manitoba. The 9 is Lee McRae. Inside row 3 in the 22, this is Ricky Hamill out of Lakota, North Dakota. Many of you have seen him in a Midwest mod and winning lots here. Well, today he brings his A modified to the big 4/10 of a mile oval. Outside the 81, Jordan Duray out of Houma, Minnesota. Inside row 4 out of Middle River, Minnesota is the 57 SS of Mike Tiani. Outside the A1 Environmental A1 is Ian Russo. And rounding out the field out of Newfoundland, Minnesota, Aaron Holton in the 2. That 2 is Ford powered, sponsored by Erico. Here we go now. Look at this race coming out of turn number 2. Gavin Paul all over the 74 out of Greenbush. Dustin Wall, the pilot, in the 74. Lee McRae and the Johnny McRae Trucking number 9 is 3rd. But pressure is on now from the 81, sponsored by Todd's Electric. That 81 car, Jordan Duray out of Houma, Minnesota. Aaron Holton trying to move the Ford through the field. There are 2 Fords in this field. Aaron Holton in the 2 and Lee McRae in the 9. Dustin Wall, the Wall Brothers Racing 74, continues to lead this one. Gavin Paul trying to close the gap. That driver in 2nd spot out of Ontario. Great racing for 3rd and 4th place. The 9 and the 81 continue to battle here. But right now, Dustin Wall has his foot to the floor, and that car has lots of speed. The Wall Brothers Racing 74 out of Greenbush continues to lead this one. 5 laps remaining on the AIE Communications board. Duray now taking a stab at the 9 of McRae in turn 3. That's a great side-by-side battle. Pushing that foot through the firewall, trying to get some more speed. The Todd's Electric 81 really challenging the big Ford number 9 right now in turn 1 and 2. So it is the 74, the 16, the 9, the 81, and the 22 of Ricky Hamill out of Lakota, North Dakota. He is 5th. Two to go for your race leader. The Altos, Wall Brothers Racing 74. White flag coming out for the leader now. Back in 3rd and 4th, McRae and the 81 of Duray continue their battle. Nothing changing there so far. Of course, these modified racers based on pace passing points here tonight as the 2 cars battle out of turn number 4. The top 8 in passing points will redraw as Wall takes the win. So it is the 74 of Wall, the 16 of Paul, the 9 of McRae, the 81 of Duray, and the 22 of Ricky Hamill out of Lakota, North Dakota. Top 8 in passing points throughout the 3 heats will, of course, redraw at intermission to determine the starting lineup for this big Al Delane Memorial Race. Pat, it's going to be a good one.
passing points. That always confuses me because I can't tell you who's in or who's out because I don't really know how it works. Passing points are a great idea.
Right.
It's going to be tough tonight because, as you can see, it's not a lot of passing so far, but the track could widen out a little bit as the night goes on.
Well, here's the one thing I always wondered about passing points, and it was determined today at the drivers' meeting. I was over there, and I always thought, well, let's say you were scheduled to start outside of row 4, Pat. So you're starting 8th for this heat race. But let's say the first 2 rows go out or something in a first lap crash. Well, now you're starting further up in the front, and you don't have the opportunity. But you know what they say? What Dale said, no, you start wherever you start officially. That first lap of the race is where your passing points start from. So, in other words, if you crash on the first lap, let's say there's a big wreck.
Yeah.
Well, the guy that was going to start outside of row 4 has to move to outside of row 2. He's only scored from outside of row 2, not the original row 4. So that makes a lot of sense. I always wondered that. And I'm going to let you go.
All right, here we go with our second of 3 Big FM modified heat races. Starting on the pole, it's the Appraisal Pro 92 of Justin Bronk. Outside of him, the 44X, the same Total Electric entry as Devin Gordon. Inside, row number 2, it's the Emery Demolition K4 Equipment 10W of Ward Emery. Outside of Ward, the 1J from Carmen, Manitoba. This is the J-Man, Jeff Pritchard. Inside row 3, the 27 is Chris Unruh. Chris is a rookie moving up from the midi lightning sprint division. To his outside, it's the X5, the St. Vital Electric. That's Devin Gordon's dad, Rob, in the X5. 99 is a rookie. That's Brody Strachan inside row 4. Danny Staff, last year's winner, starts 8th, and Sexton starts 9th in the 57. Ooh, boy. Not a very good draw for Kevin Sexton, starting 9th in the 9-car race. Mind you, he's got lots of chances to make points up, be passing points. Strachan inside of the 7 of Danny Staff, looking to challenge for 4th place. Now Strachan looks to the outside on Staff. Ward Emery closing in the 10 car on the 92 of Justin Bronk. Bronk doing a nice job in the 92 car. He's challenging Jeff Pritchard, the leader. Uh-oh, Jeff Pritchard falters. And that allows Justin Bronk right up on his back bumper. Ward Emery inside of Bronk in the 10 car. What a great race for the top 3, 4, 5 spots as they come through turn 4, 3 wide. Holy cow, look at these guys go. Holy mackerel, Andy. 3 abreast, and here Ward Emery and Jeff Pritchard. Oh, what happened? What a great race. What a shame. What happened, I wonder? Wow, Ward Emery, Justin Bronk, and Jeff Pritchard putting on quite a show here in heat number 2. Wow. While we got a minute, I'd like to once again say thank you to A1 Environmental, Emery Demolition, Centennial Transport, Rod Fair Racing, Able Crane Service, Miller Race Engines, Keewatin Truck Service, Westbrook Manufacturing, Murray Cozy Trucking, McRae Motorsports, St. Andrews Towing, Derek Sandblasting, and Mass Merchandising and Sales. Those folks are the ones that sponsored the Big Al Delane Memorial. And of course, our whole evening brought to you tonight by Piston Ring, where service is the difference. Your auto value parts store. They get it. Well, I don't know what happened there. Did you hear or see? Oh, I see someone. Who's that now? Somebody. Oh, X5. That's Rob Gordon at the back. So he was starting up close to the front. Or no, he started 6th. So maybe the yellow is for him because I see he's at the back now. I didn't see him. I didn't see where he went or where he came back from. But well, Jeff Pritchard out of Carmen. Jeff also has a late model, and he tells me he's going to bring that out pretty soon. I saw Les Pritchard here earlier this evening having a Little look around the place, and Les Pritchard raced here, oh boy, for a lot of years. Raced a lot of super stock, won lots of super stock races, raced a late model for a number of years. He was around back in the late 70s and spent a lot of time here. Side by side, Delaware restart. So the leader is out front on his own. That's the one of Jeff Pritchard. Oh, maybe it. So Ward Emery picks. What is Ward Emery picking? It doesn't look like. Oh, what? Oh, all right. Good call, whoever made that one. That was a brutal start. Supposed to be side by side. So as I understand it, Jeff Pritchard out front on his own. Ward Emery has inside or outside choice. That leaves whatever he doesn't want. So now, where is he? Inside or outside? Looks like outside. The 92 car stopped down here on the front. The Genuine Truck Repair, Pepsi-Cola, AppraisalPro.ca. Number 92 of Justin Bronk, consulting with our track officials, and they're probably going to hold him there until the crowd comes around. He will restart in the third spot. So passing points, Sexton started at the back. He's passed 2 cars. That isn't enough to get the job done, I realize, but that's just a start. We have 2 down and 4 down, pardon me. 10 lap heat races tonight. Okay, so now Emery's moved down to the bottom. Which is it? Okay, so we get the 92 alongside the 10. 99 alongside the 7. Okay, believe it or not, I think we got it. Wow, Danny Staff lost the right side. That's the exploded view of that number 7. He won the 2015 Al Delane Memorial, $3,000 for his trouble. As I've explained to you before, these guys race normally on a Thursday night for $400 to win. If you finish 12th or whatever, you get $60. So to race for $3,000 tonight, you might see the odd little piece of tin wrinkled or removed, because they're going to be pretty aggressive to get to that $3 grand. Here we go for Piston Ring. Oh, Strachan slides up the track and just about collects Justin Bronk. Holy cow. Pritchard pushes, Emery drives by. Pritchard comes back after him. The 1 and the 10 do battle for the number 1 spot. But Pritchard again with a big push, and Strachan gets within striking distance. Pritchard, ill handling race car going into the corners, that's for sure. That's a tough break for Justin Bronk, having the 99 to Strachan just about took him out of the race. Danny Staff is working like a madman to get around Jeff Pritchard. Everybody wants to pass cars. Of course, passing points will get you a better starting spot for the $3,000 Al Delane Memorial. Pritchard pushes again, but collects it. Holy cow, that car's not handling well going into the corners. Here comes your leader, Ward Emery, in the 10W. White flag for Emery. Ward Emery started third, and he will be your winner. How about a hand for Ward Emery in the K4 equipment? Emery Demolition, number 10. The 99 of Brody Strachan started 7th. 99 of Brody Strachan started 7th, and he finished 2nd. So, the boy, there's some passing points. He did a good job out there, although I think Justin Bronk might like to have a talk with him, but I do. Keystone Western is your locally owned and operated transportation company. They specialize in logistics solutions, and for over 25 years, Keystone Western's difference is their family attitude, combined with providing their clients with the highest standards of customer service. Keystone is passionate about people and building winning relationships with their employees, customers, and the community. Keystone Western is your driving force.
At Mako, we're on the driver's side. Had a fender bender, rear ender, whatever. We'll work with you and MPI to turn the car you drive back into the car you love. You can trust us to fix every ding, every dent, every scratch. We've helped over 17 million drivers since 1972 and offer lifetime warranties on insurance repairs at all of our locations.
Pat, I just received word on the radio here that the X car in turn number 3 has a big bay window in the side of the block.
Uh-oh.
Yes, they need some Absorball over there. That thing grenaded.
Well, Absorball is the least of what Rob Gordon needs. Those crankshafts, a lot of these guys will use a stock GM block because they're lighter than Dart blocks, but they also, the crankshaft in these cars can be as expensive as $4,000.
Right.
I mean, just the crankshaft. Now you want to buy a good set of rods and a good set of pistons. So if it's got a hole in the side of it, you know that one of those crankshafts is likely garbage. The block, because they
Connecting
can't run,
rod.
Yeah, connecting rod at best. Maybe they get to save the cylinder heads and the intake, but that's a costly exercise right there. And you know, we talk about how heavy the track is tonight and how fast it is.
Yes.
We're likely to see some more of that because the cars are absolutely flat out tonight. If there's a little bit of slip in the track, that gives the driveline a little bit of an easier night. When this is tacky like this and you can jam it to the floor and lock the drivetrain up at full speed all the way around here, it's hard on stuff. We'll probably see some drive shafts coming apart and U-joints and different things like that. That's one of the, it makes for very fast racing, but it actually is much harder on equipment with a tackier track. Now, ideally, right between the track we have tonight and what we usually have, that would be super. But as we said, that's not a, yes, that's not, it's not an exact science, so it's a little harder to do than people might think. But what we shoot for is this smooth, or as smooth as we usually have it, with just a little more traction than we normally have. Now, the weatherman did the track prep today. We can't do anything about that, but on a heavy racetrack, that's when equipment gets used up. All right, heat number 3 is lining up, and the proprietor at Devil's Lake Speedway starts on the pole. He is sponsored by Devil's Lake Speedway. He's from Devil's Lake, North Dakota, the 4N. This is Nolan Olmsted. Outside of him, the 85D, he won the $100 bill at the driver's meeting. That was courtesy of HMS Foods. That's Jeff Davies. Inside row 2, the Jansen Chevrolet number 24, it's James Wall. To his outside in the Mark Brandt Trucking Avonlea Company's 29K, it's Ryan Kerlick. Inside row 3, the 36 he's a rookie in the A-Mod division. He raced in the B-Mods for a few years, but the driver of the 36 in this heat 3 is Ryan Cousins. Outside of Ryan, the 5G, sponsored by Miller Race Engines, DeKalb Seeds. The car is owned by Rod Fair Racing. The driver is Scott Greer. Inside on row number 4, the number 8, Al Giesbrick, starts there. And 2 is outside from Fanistel, the number 48, Jerome Guillot. And that is our lineup for Heat 3 in the Big FM Modifieds.
Well, of course, Pat, we were talking about it earlier. 26 Big FM Modifieds in the pits here today. We know of one that's not going to make the feature, so that's going to be 25 for sure. But hopefully everybody else makes it through, and we see a great feature here. Of course, I believe it's seventh Big Owl.
7th annual, yeah.
7th annual. So what a great tradition. What a great payout for the drivers.
Pardon me for interrupting you, but you know what I've noticed tonight is people are wearing their T-shirts from prior years. I
Yes.
think that's really neat. I think
Absolutely.
That's really neat.
No doubt.
Actually, I got to get one. You know that I don't have one of those yet? I
don't
meaning
either.
to get one, and by the time I get around to it, the men's sizes are sold out. You'll be all right, but... Anyways, I better go down and see Rick later on, but it's great to see those shirts from past years. That's pretty cool.
It is, yep, definitely. It's always a great tradition, and some great drivers here this weekend, or this evening, I guess. We used to do it on a Friday and Saturday,
Yeah,
didn't we? A
yeah.
two-dayer, but
Well, as I said to you, I think it was you I was talking to earlier today, that border for our U.S. friends is almost like the Great Wall of China. Like you'd think it was some big deal. The guys
Well-
that come regular, no, there's nothing to it.
no,
But
for
I
sure.
was talking to guys over the last couple of weeks in A-Mod racers in the U.S., asked them if they were coming. Nah, I don't know.
But you think about it too, and I mean, you can go to Grand Forks and run into somebody at Walmart that doesn't race and start a conversation, and they live in Grand Forks, and they'll say, well, I've never been to Canada.
Exactly.
Yeah,
right.
so it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
crazy, isn't it?
Anyway, we're going Big FM Modified Racing, Pat, as they pull on the track. Nolan Olmstead will be your pole sitter for this third and final modified heat.
He's got the same lettering guy as Grant Hall had. For
He
Monday
does.
night.
A little better body man, though. That body looks a little strainer. All right, so here we go. Big FM Modifieds heat number 3. Don't forget, we will start the feature by passing points. So what we will do, the cars that pass the most cars during these 3 heat races will generate points. Now the top 8 in points will redraw for a starting position in the main event. So if you draw number 1 during that 8 driver redraw, well, you will start on the pole. If you draw number 8, well, you will start 8th, which would be outside of row number 4
Right.
in the Big Al Memorial coming up very soon. So this is a little tense for the drivers. There's no question, Pat.
Well, it is. And I mean, especially it's a tough racetrack tonight because of the rain we got. I mean, nobody expected to have that kind of racetrack. So it's going to be a bit of a mixed bag for a lot of these guys. But, I mean, you got to make the best of it. You never know when you show up somewhere what you're going to have to race on. The thing is, they're all racing on it. Before I let you get back to work, I went down to get a piece of pizza, and they were out. Well, lo and behold, we got a fresh load of hot pizza.
Awesome.
Yes, and it is dandy. So if you're got a little bit of a hunger going on, get down there and get yourself some of that fresh hot pizza just got delivered.
Looks like troubles for the number 24. That is James Wall out of Winkler. We're going to throw the green, but of course the yellow immediately, so they don't pile up on each other. But looks like there's some problems on the back straightaway. I thought the 8 car of Al Giesbrecht was having problems as well, but he goes around. So we need a push truck to the 24 of James Wall out of Winkler.
You know,
All right.
I think maybe we should take up a collection and get one of them yellow flashing lights for the top of that Jeep.
Oh, absolutely. You know what I like to see? I'd like to see a string of yellow lights for the racers that go across the track in turn 3. You know who does that? And I love that. That's a big
Been there
thing.
forever.
It's been there forever, and I'll tell you what, Pat, having raced before, coming down a back straightaway out of turn 2, you see a full stream of yellow lights. That can really, really save you. Now, I know we have receivers nowadays, but the more yellow lights on the racetrack, the better. That is always helping the safety situation at each and every racetrack. So we will have a complete restart of this third and final Big FM modified heat race. Don't forget, top 8 in passing points will redraw to start the big main event for $3,000 to win here tonight at Red River Co-op Speedway.
Hey, by the way, I want you to write down right now, too, before you find out where anybody draws or anything else. Write down who do you think is going to win the Alden Lane Memorial.
Well,
Don't tell anybody, just write it down.
No, I know what you're saying, but I'd like to see the top 8 at least. Like, let me explain.
Oh.
I don't think you're going to win from past
Hey,
8.
it's only, the bet is a nickel.
Okay,
How
well,
much
no.
How much homework you need to bet a nickel? Oh, here we go.
All right, getting ready to race here. Heat number 3 in the Big FM modified class. Nolan Olmstead is on the pole looking for the green flag, and they've got it. Here we go, modified racing. Brought to you by Piston Ring, established in 1953. Great racing into turn number 1 and 2, but Nolan Olmstead gets a little high into. And the 85D finds himself on a racetrack in a big hurry. James Wall, the 24 car, looking good on the inside of the bottom. Cousins in the 36 is fourth. Here comes Gio to battle Karoluk. But right now it's all Nolan Olmstead. Well, Nolan Olmstead, no doubt about it, is pulling away here from our long toll recipient. That is the 85D of Jeff Davis out of Devlin, Ontario. Davis winning the long toll award. Third spot is Wall, fourth is Cousins, fifth is Gio, then Karoluk, Greer, and the 8 of Giesbrecht. Now, Greer won the feature last Monday here at Red River Co-op Speedway. His first feature win of the year, but the car not liking this particular racetrack here today so much. Four lap showing on the AIE Communications board as Olmstead leads it by about a straightaway over the 85 of Jeff Davis. Now, it was the 4N that started on the pole. He's the leader. And Jeff Davis in second, started second. James Wall in third, started third. Ryan Cousins in the 36 started fifth inside of row number 3 and is now fourth. Gio in the 48 started 8th, dead last, and has moved up a few spots. One of the few drivers that have moved here in this race. White flag is out for your race leader. Checkered flag is out. Your winner, Nolan Olmstead. Second spot to the 85. James Wall in the Wolf Enterprises 24 does a nice job in closing that race, but not enough to pass the 85D of Jeff Davis. So that'll do it for your Big FM Modifieds, heat number 3.
Well, it's time for the candy toss, everybody. The QX104 Family Fun Zone. You know where the candy toss happens. It's behind our judges stand here. So get on back there if you're going to take part in the candy toss at the QX104 Family Zone. Don't forget there is a fresh load of pizza just arrived, hot and fresh from Chicken Chef. Go give it a try. Hey, every Wednesday and Thursday night is Wing Night at Tavern United, where baskets of wings are only $4.99. Choose from our menu of 27 flavorful sauces and seasonings, sure to make your mouth water. Find a location for you at tavernunited.com. And Brian Bombier, host of TV's Disaster Do-It-Yourself and House of Brian, knows quality work. That's why Western Marble and Tile own marble, granite, and quartz countertop experts, and they are Bombier approved. That means they meet the high standards set by one of TV's most trusted building experts. See why that'll make a huge difference in the quality of your next kitchen or bathroom countertop at Western Marble and Tile, 1321 Yukon